Good morning, friends. Good morning. I am back here to share with you some news breakdowns on some Vanderpump Rules stars and also Sean Diddy Combs. We have been continuing to cover the Sean Diddy Combs legal drama, the battles that he is facing, both from a federal criminal angle, but also now all of these civil lawsuits coming out of the woodworks against Sean Combs. Yesterday, I did a report on the woman, Brianna Bongolan, who is friends with his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Ms. Bongolan has now filed a civil lawsuit for $10 million against Sean Combs. She is alleging similar allegations to Cassie Ventura's prior suit from back in 2023, which Diddy settled with Ms. Ventura. And Ms. Bongolan is now claiming that Diddy dangled her over the side of the balcony of Cassie Ventura, which is a 17th-story balcony. Bongolan is claiming that Diddy threatened to kill her. Ms. Bongolan is saying that she has personally witnessed Sean Diddy Combs abusing Cassie Ventura. These are the type of allegations. These are the allegations that are being presented by Brianna Bongolan against Sean Combs. These are very serious allegations. Again, Ms. Bongolan is alleging that Diddy was abusive towards herself. And this reminds us and harkens us back to 2023 when Cassie Cassandra Ventura, the former partner of Diddy, filed a lawsuit against him alleging sexual abuse, alleging that he sexually trafficked her. He settled that lawsuit with her within one day, and that was resolved, and the settlement agreement was confidential. So many times when individuals have a lawsuit, civil lawsuit filed against them, if the defendant does not wish to publicly litigate these matters out in the court, the defendant can often choose to settle the case privately and then have a confidential settlement agreement, which is what Sean Diddy Combs did do last year in 2023 when Cassie Ventura, his former girlfriend, filed a lawsuit against him alleging sexual abuse and sexual trafficking claims. He did not choose to litigate that out publicly in the courts, so it will be very interesting to see how he chooses to handle this lawsuit that was just filed on or about November 29th, 2024 by Cassie Ventura's friend, who is fashion designer Brianna Bongolan. She has now filed a $10 million lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs in Los Angeles County Superior Court. This is a civil claim. She's alleging false imprisonment claims. She's alleging intentional infliction of emotional distress. And she's claiming that she is owed $10 million from Sean Combs for the lasting emotional trauma that his actions have supposedly allegedly caused her. She claims that he dangled her over the side of Cassie Ventura's 17th story balcony, which is also akin to an allegation that Cassie Ventura made against Sean Diddy Combs. Cassie Ventura had also alleged in her complaint that Diddy had dangled her over the edge of a 17th story balcony. So again, we're seeing very similar claims brought by these women. Diddy, of course, vehemently denies these allegations. A representative from Diddy's camp have responded to the media saying that anybody can just file a lawsuit without having to have proof. Anyone can go ahead and just say anything in their papers, basically, even if it's not true. So I am here to provide legal commentary. I am an attorney myself. I'm not here to provide legal advice. None of this is legal advice. However, it is generally true what Diddy's representative is saying is that, yes, sure, it's true that someone could make an allegation in a court paper and file it without having the proof behind it. But there does certainly come a point in the litigation where they have to either put up or shut up, and they have to meet their burden of the case. There's many stages of litigation. For example, the initial stage is the pleading stage where the defendant, in this case, Diddy, he could file a motion to dismiss or a failure to state a claim. He could allege that the plaintiff did not state the appropriate elements and to go ahead and state a claim to actually be heard in court. So that's the motion to dismiss stage. And then further, if the plaintiff's complaint survives the motion to dismiss stage, then it goes down to another stage where Diddy would have to file an answer. He would have to file a responsive pleading. He would have to answer the complaint and respond to it, either deny or admit to each line allegation in the complaint. And then there would be a stage where he could move for summary judgment after discovery. So there's a discovery period where the defendant can force the person that's filing the lawsuit against them to produce text messages, emails, phone conversations, if phone conversations were legally recorded, because some states are two-party consent states, such as California, where you do need the consent of both parties to be able to record a phone call. There are other states that are called one-party consent states, where you can record a phone call as long as one person consents. So it's if phone calls were legally recorded, you can require that, you can force the other party through the discovery process to produce that evidence. You can require them to answer something called requests for admissions, where you require them to answer things in written form. You can request answers to interrogatories. Interrogatories are written questions that a party can direct against the other party, and the other party is required in the discovery process to answer those questions in writing. You can also do something called a request for production of documents, where you draft different types of documents. You send a set of written requests for certain specific types of documents to the other side, and the other side, through the discovery process, is required to produce those documents or those text messages, those emails, those recordings, those videos, whatever evidence that you seek through the discovery process. And also, you can file a motion to compel as part of litigation. So if the other party is not cooperating, if they are not providing the documents or not responding to your interrogatory request or your request for admission, then you can file a motion to compel to ask the court to compel the other party to respond and provide full and compliant responses or document productions. So litigation is a very powerful thing, my friends. So Ms. Bonglin has now filed this $10 million lawsuit against Sean Combs. If this case survives the motion to dismiss initial stages, then P. Diddy will have to provide discovery. He will have to provide responses to the interrogatories that her attorneys serve on him. And he will have to provide answers to her interrogatories, requests for admission, and requests for productions of documents. So it is very important to note that not only is Diddy facing claims from a civil, not only is Diddy facing claims from the civil side, where these women are filing civil suits against him, he is also facing federal criminal charges. He is being prosecuted at the federal level for sex trafficking and other very serious crimes. So as you may know, from right before the Thanksgiving holiday on Wednesday, November 26th, on Wednesday, December 27th, Diddy was denied by now another judge, denied bail. So Diddy's attorneys are trying to get him released from prison, where he has been at the Metropolitan Detention Center for 2 months. His attorneys have been fighting to try to get him released on what's called pretrial detention. Pretrial release. I'm sorry. They are trying to get him released on pretrial release. And the prosecutors are saying, no, we want to detain him. We feel that he's a risk if we let him go. Prosecutors can ask the court to deny a pretrial bail or a pretrial release request if there is sufficient reason to believe that this individual who is accused of a crime is a significant flight risk, or if they are a danger to society by letting them free. So there are a number of reasons that are set forth in pretrial detention statute, both at the federal level, at the state level. If you're in state court, Diddy's in federal court. So essentially, there are different factors that the court can consider as to whether they should release someone on bail. Diddy's attorneys have set forth what they call a very full and comprehensive bail package, which provides for $50 million of bail. They're trying to get Diddy released from prison. They're alleging that he needs to be able to prepare for trial and that he cannot adequately prepare for his trial while he is detained in the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York. Now, the prosecutors are alleging that no, he should not be released on pretrial bail. People can be held on pretrial bail if they are a flight risk, if they pose a danger to society, if they are released. So several judges have now denied Diddy bail. They have said, no, we are not going to release you prior to your trial. And they feel that they're saying he can adequately prepare for his trial from the Metropolitan Detention Center where he is being held and where he has been held for the last 2 months. So this is a very significant thing when you take away someone's right to be released prior to trial. That is significant. So it speaks to the gravity of the allegations against Sean Combs that these judges are willing to say no, not even for a $50 million bail package. We are not releasing you. So this is essential that we understand that this is going to be in the news for quite some time. And we are going to be covering the Diddy legal battles and the drama, both from the civil lawsuit side, also the federal criminal case on this channel. We will keep you up to date with live updates. We go live here on Sped Up News every day. I have just also posted a news story that talks in full detail about the new $10 million civil lawsuit that Brianna Bongolan, fashion designer, has filed against Diddy just on or about November 29th. This is a very new suit. It's hot off the presses. It was filed in Los Angeles County and Superior Court and State Court. So we are going to see how that takes shape. We're going to see if Diddy's going to try to settle this very quickly, like he did with Cassandra Ventura's lawsuit. Cassie Ventura sued Diddy last year in 2023 for very similar claims. He actually settled that within 1 day. He did not want to publicly go ahead and publicly put that out there, have that litigated in the courts. So we will see if Diddy settles this new case with Brianna Bongolan that was just filed a few days ago. Moving right along, I want to talk with you about an article that was published by USA Today. It reports that Sean Diddy Combs is denied bail after 2 months in jail. After 2 months inside a Brooklyn jail, Sean Combs experienced another setback as he's preparing for his criminal trial in May, with another federal judge denying his request to be released on bail. Before Thanksgiving, Judge Arun Subramanian ruled in favor of prosecutors detaining the hip-hop mogul and saying that he should not be allowed to prepare for his 2025 trial from a private residence. His lawyers had previously proposed what they called, quote, his lawyers called the bail package, quote, an extremely substantial, comprehensive bail package with a $50 million bond, arguing that their client has not been able to adequately prepare for trial from inside the Metropolitan Detention Center. Subramanian's ruling has marked the third time a U.S. District Court judge has denied Combs' pretrial release on bond. In October, a federal appeals court judge also denied Combs' immediate release pending a decision from a 3-judge panel on his motion for bail. That judge had said, quote, the court finds that the government has shown by clear and convincing evidence that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably ensure the safety of the community. Subramanian's ruling obtained by USA Today reads, he noted U.S. attorneys have presented compelling evidence of Combs' propensity for violence, including by showing footage of him attacking his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in 2016. During a November 22 bail hearing, prosecutors continued to argue that Combs presented a risk of danger and witness tampering. Combs' defense argued against the picture that the government has painted of the rapper, and again asserted that their bail proposal addresses any concerns about ensuring that Combs would return to court and would not engage in obstruction of justice. Subramanian had both sides submit letters on November 25, detailing Combs' communications from jail before making his decisions. Combs' renewed motion for bail, filed earlier this month, was Combs' latest attempt at being released before his trial, following 2 requests around the time that he was charged and an appeal filed in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals in September. Now, they did propose a $50 million bail package. They did propose 24/7 security. His lawyers are really working hard. Diddy's lawyers are working hard at the helm to try to persuade federal judges to release him from jail so that he can adequately prepare for his trial. Now, this is significant because Judge Subramanian, the most recent federal judge to deny Diddy bail or pretrial release, he has ruled that the prosecutor has provided enough evidence of that the safety of the community would be at risk if the court released Diddy prior to his trial. They say that the prosecutors have provided footage showing Diddy attacking his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, back in 2016. They say that there is a significant risk that Diddy would tamper with witnesses, allegedly intimidate witnesses, and that he would therefore obstruct the administration of justice. So that is another reason why a court can hold a defendant, that a court can deny a defendant pretrial release pending trial based on a number of factors, not just the safety risk that they pose to the community, not just whether they are a flight risk, which someone of Diddy's caliber could be, as he has access to significant funds, perhaps. He could leave the country, flee. But there are also other reasons why a court can deny a defendant like Diddy to be released from jail prior to his trial. For example, if they feel that he would obstruct justice, if they feel that he would pose a risk by tampering with witnesses, intimidate witnesses. There have been cases, many cases in the past involving very high profile public figures where witnesses have disappeared. Witnesses have, God forbid, been harmed, been killed. And this is not to say that Diddy would do that. This is not here. I'm not here to make allegations. But what I am saying is that the judge has denied Diddy bail release pending trial because they feel that that there is enough, that the prosecution has shown enough evidence that there is risk to the community and risk of obstruction of justice if the court were to release him. So, moving back to the article that was reported by USA Today, it says that Diddy's lawyers proposed a $50 million package, 24/7 security. So the latest proposal by Diddy's lawyers, who are working very hard, Diddy's lawyers are working very hard to get him released from jail prior to his trial, because they say he needs time in a private residence to be able to adequately prepare for trial. So in this article by USA Today, they say that the attorney's latest proposal offered a $50 million bond secured by the equity in Combs and his mother's Florida homes, implementation of a 24/7 monitor service by approved security personnel, no internet or phone access for Combs outside of meetings with legal counsel, a pre-approved visitor list consisting of select family members, and surrendered passports belonging to the rapper and his family members. So this is significant. They are saying that we are offering that that Diddy's passport be surrendered, that his family members' passports be surrendered. Diddy's attorneys are proposing 24/7 security, so round-the-clock security to monitor Diddy to make sure that he doesn't flee. Diddy's lawyers are also proposing a $50 million bond that is secured by Diddy's Florida home and his mother's Florida home. They're saying, Your Honor, we can use this bond to prove to you, to give you assurances that Diddy will return for his trial, that he will not flee the country, that he will not violate the terms if you release him. And the judges have still said no. This federal judge has denied his claim and said, no, we are not going to release you on bail prior to your trial. We are not going to give you the opportunity to obstruct justice, to tamper with witnesses, to flee the country. Diddy's lawyers are hard at work. They have proposed a very comprehensive package with 24/7 security, round-the-clock security. They're saying, Your Honor, you can trust Diddy to return. If you release him prior to trial, we will have him monitored 24/7. We will surrender his phone. We will surrender his internet access so that he will not have phone or internet access except to meet with his attorneys, except for those meetings. We will surrender his passport. We will make his family members surrender passports. We will put up a $50 million bond that is secured by Diddy's mother's Florida residence and by Diddy's Florida residence. They are trying to give the court as many assurances as possible to show the court and to persuade prosecutors and the federal judge that Diddy will return for his federal trial. And but guess what? The federal judge last week said no. This is the third judge to say no. Federal Judge Subramanian said no. The government has provided enough evidence that Diddy poses a safety risk to the community. They have provided footage of Diddy being violent towards his former girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, in 2016. They have provided enough to this judge to persuade this judge that Diddy poses a significant safety risk to the community. The type of charges that he is charged with, sexual abuse, sexual trafficking, are very serious crimes. They are saying that Diddy has committed these crimes. They are saying that he is a significant flight risk. They are saying that he's a risk to the safety of the community. And the prosecutors are saying, Your Honor, we have given you enough evidence that there is a strong risk that he would tamper with witnesses, obstruct justice, and that he would not return for his court trial in May if you release him. And the federal judges have sided with the prosecution. They have denied Diddy bail. Several times they have denied his request, despite his attorneys setting forth this very comprehensive $50 million bond package that is secured by Diddy's home in Florida, by his mother's home in Florida. His lawyers are saying to the court, we will have Diddy under 24/7 security surveillance by an approved security company. We will make him surrender his passport. We will make his family members surrender their passports. They are saying we will make Diddy surrender his phone, his internet access, and cut him off from phone or internet access except for meetings with his lawyers. They have proposed a very comprehensive and full deal to the court and to the prosecutors to allow Sean Combs to be released prior to his trial. But the judge has still said no. Last week, the judge still denied his request. And friends, as an attorney, I will tell you that is a very severe thing to deny a pretrial request for relief. It is admittedly difficult to prepare adequately for a trial while you are in prison. Diddy has been held for 2 months in Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York. He has been in jail. So his lawyers are saying, listen, he's up against some very serious charges. In May, he's going to be tried before a federal jury. His lawyers are arguing he has a right to be able to adequately prepare for his trial, to be able to meet with his lawyers freely, to be able to get ready for this trial at which he potentially may be testifying. It will be interesting to see what strategy his trial attorneys take in this federal trial, because you do have a constitutional right, Fifth Amendment right, not to testify if you feel that you would self-incriminate. If you would feel that you would incriminate yourself by your own testimony, you can plead the Fifth. You can take the Fifth Amendment. You can refuse to testify at trial. So it will be interesting to see whether Diddy's attorneys are going to have him testify or not at this upcoming trial. So this is incredibly interesting case to watch. I will be covering this here on Sped Up News. Every day I'll be coming to you with live updates. I just posted a video that gave a full breakdown of the lawsuit that was filed by Brianna Bongelin just several days ago on or about November 29th, where she is claiming $10 million in damages against Diddy. She has filed a civil lawsuit that is distinct from the federal lawsuit that the prosecutors are addressing with Diddy for his alleged crimes. This civil suit is filed by a fashion designer, Brianna Bongolan, who is friends with Cassandra Ventura, Diddy's former girlfriend, where Ms. Bongolan is alleging that he owes her $10 million for the lasting emotional trauma that he has caused her from dangling her over the side of Cassie Ventura's 17th story balcony back in 2016. And she is alleging that P. Diddy threatened to kill her. And Bongolan is also claiming that she personally witnessed Diddy's abuse of Cassandra Ventura, his former girlfriend. Now, interestingly enough, Cassandra Ventura filed a civil suit, which is different than the criminal case that Diddy is also facing. Cassie Ventura filed a civil suit against Diddy back in 2023. He settled that within 1 day. So Diddy did not want that case to go through the whole legal process. He settled that lawsuit with Cassandra Ventura back in 2023, the day after Cassie Ventura filed that suit. Cassie Ventura filed a very serious lawsuit, civil suit against Diddy with serious allegations of sexual abuse, of sexual trafficking, and she came forward and she's saying, I want to tell my story about what happened to me at the hands of my allegations that what happened to me at the hands of Sean Diddy Combs. And like I said, the confidential settlement agreement within that 2023 civil case is sealed. It's confidential. Oftentimes when parties settle a lawsuit on the civil side, the settlement will be confidential. It cannot be disclosed to the media or the public. So nobody knows the terms of that. We don't know, what if anything, Diddy allegedly paid her, or what the terms are of that settlement to make that go away within 1 day after Cassie Ventura filed that. But now there's this new lawsuit from Brianna Bongolan, who is friends with Cassie Ventura. She's now alleging $10 million of damages for emotional distress, intentional infliction of emotional distress, false imprisonment. She claims that Diddy dangled her over the side of a 7-story balcony that was Cassie Ventura's balcony back in 2016. So we're going to see what happens with that civil suit. We're going to be following I'm going to be reporting live on all of the Diddy legal drama every day, both the criminal case that he is facing right now, where he has been denied bail for the 3rd time by a federal judge just prior to Thanksgiving. I'm going to be filing the civil suit as well. These civil suits that these women are filing against Sean Diddy Combs. He is in a world of legal issues right now, and this is going to be a very interesting case to watch. Now, going back to the article that was reported by USA Today, his lawyers talk about the latest bid. Also mentioned that Combs is willing to participate in, quote, full home detention at either his $48 million Miami home, quote, or at a suitable location in New York. His family visits would be monitored by assigned security, and Combs would be subject to testing for a prohibited substance as needed. Interesting. So they're agreeing. They were in an effort to persuade the judge to release Diddy Combs. His lawyers have said, not only are we willing to surrender his passport, not only are we willing to put up this $50 million bond that's secured by his Florida and his mother's Florida residences, not only are we willing to have him under 24/7 security, not only is he willing to surrender his phone and internet access, but he's also willing to be drug tested or tested for a prohibitive substance. He's also willing to have his family visits monitored. He is also willing to have full home, essentially house arrest. He's also willing to have full security, full home security to monitor him at either his $48 million Miami residence or at his at a suitable location in New York. So he's going to be tried in New York. He's being held in New York right now in Metropolitan Detention Center. So his attorney has really set forth a lot of conditions that he is willing to do to try to persuade the federal court to release him prior to his trial. And the federal judges have still said no. They've said no. He's enough of a risk. We're satisfied that the government has shown that he's enough of a risk to the community. He's enough of a risk to obstruct justice that we're not going to let him go. So getting back to this USA Today article, Subramanian, the federal judge, in his Wednesday ruling last week, expressed skepticism of the conditions the Combs attorney suggested as he wrote, quote, "The court doubts the sufficiency of any conditions that place trust in Combs and individuals in his employ, like a private security detail, to follow these conditions," end quote. The judge also pushed back on claims that the jail's conditions were not conducive to the rapper's preparation for trial. Quote, "Combs has not carried his burden of demonstrating that release from detention is necessary for trial preparation purposes," end quote. When Combs, who's age 55, arrived in the Manhattan courtroom with members of the U.S. Marshals Service for a bail hearing on Friday, he wore a beige jail-issued outfit and blew kisses towards his family seated in the second row. So his mother, Janice Combs, and his children, Quincy Brown, Christian, quote, King Combs, Justin Dior Combs, Jesse Combs, Delilah Combs, and Chance Combs, were photographed arriving at the federal courthouse earlier in the day. Combs is charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prosecution. He pleaded not guilty to the alleged crimes and has maintained that all of his encounters were consensual in the face of mounting civil lawsuits over the past year, accusing him of very serious allegations. So this is very interesting. Judge Subramanian, who is the federal judge that has been the most recent judge denying Diddy pretrial release on bail, he has said no. He wrote in his order, no, Diddy, I do not find that there is sufficient evidence that Diddy would not be able to prepare for his trial from the confines of the Metropolitan Detention Center. Basically, the federal judge has said that Diddy has not carried his burden of proof to demonstrate that being held in jail would render him unable to prepare for his trial. So essentially, the federal judge has said, I also doubt that Diddy would comply with the things that he is promising in this $50 million bond bail package. The judge is saying, I have my doubts that he would actually comply with these conditions that he's promising to me. And I have doubt that his, private security service that he pays would comply with these procedures as well. So the judge is very skeptical of the terms that that Diddy's lawyers are proposing for pretrial release, and he has denied bail. So moving back to this article here, it does say that in their November 25 letters, Combs' team argued all of his actions since being detained fall under his First Amendment right to free speech as he, quote, defends himself in the court of public opinion, end quote. Meanwhile, U.S. attorneys rejected this claim and detailed his alleged, quote, extensive efforts to taint the jury pool, end quote, while at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. In his filing, Naya Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, noted, quote, district courts have interpreted obstruction to include willful actions that jeopardize the integrity of judicial proceedings. So let's break this down. So the prosecutors are alleging that Diddy has already started obstructing justice. They are alleging that he is already speaking out and taking actions that are aimed to try to taint the potential jury pool, because Diddy will be before a federal jury in May when he is tried for the alleged crimes that he is being charged with at the federal level. So they are saying that Diddy has already tried to make statements that would influence judicial proceedings, but his lawyers have said no. They're saying he has a First Amendment right to free speech. His lawyers are saying he has a First Amendment right to defend himself against these allegations because Diddy has pled not guilty. He is alleging that he is not guilty of these crimes, these very serious crimes, and his attorneys are saying he has a First Amendment, very strong constitutional right to speak out and defend himself. So let me know in the comments, which side do you fall on? Do you agree with the prosecutor and with the courts who have felt that who are taking the position that he is potentially already starting to obstruct justice by trying to influence the jury pool? Or do you agree with Diddy's attorneys who are saying, he's being accused of very serious crimes. He has a right to defend himself. He has a First Amendment right to free speech. So let me know in the comments what you think. The prosecutors are saying, well, no, he does not have a First Amendment right to obstruct justice. And the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York has stated that district courts have interpreted the term obstruction to include willful actions that jeopardize the integrity of judicial proceedings. And the prosecutor claims that Combs, quote, has used multiple unauthorized means of communications which make it difficult or impossible to monitor the defendant's communications, end quote. So that's very interesting. They're saying that he has used certain types of communication that make it difficult to monitor that communication. So who knows what they're referring to? We would need more details about that. Maybe they're referring to certain encrypted types of communications. There are different types of text messages, encrypted services where the text messages disappear after you type them, after the recipient reads them more accurately. So this is very interesting, and that's going to make the discovery process very difficult as well, because earlier in the stream we talked about how if this case there is a certain period of time called the discovery period in litigation where the prosecutors can force Diddy to turn over text messages, emails, documents. If there are legally recorded phone conversations, then they can force him to turn over phone recordings. They can force him to turn over videos. There's going to be a number of different mechanisms that the prosecutor has to try to compel evidence from Diddy. But if Diddy has been taking precautions and having these communications in ways that are encrypted or that disappear, or there are all types of different types of email services out there that have these type of cybersecurity things in place that unfortunately some criminal defendants misuse. I'm not saying that Sean Diddy Combs misused any of these. We don't have the proofs before us to be able to make that determination. These are just things that the prosecutor has expressed concerns about. So remember, this is a very, very serious procedural posture, because someone with Diddy's influence, he's a public figure. He is beloved by many. He does have arguably the ability to, quote, obstruct justice by making statements that are going to influence a potential jury pool. But however, then again, we do have to balance that with his First Amendment right to free speech and his right as a defendant to be innocent until proven guilty, and his right to speak out and defend himself. So these are all the considerations that the court is going to have to weigh, that the prosecutors and the judges here are having to weigh, and that are coming up in this litigation. So remember, Diddy's lawyers are hard at work. They are earning their fees. They are hard at work trying to convince federal judges to release Diddy from prison pending his trial. But the judges have said no. They said he has not met his burden to demonstrate that it's necessary for him to be at a private $48 million residence to be able to prepare for your trial. And I want to go over these offers again. Diddy's lawyers have offered that Diddy will be under 24/7 surveillance if the judge releases him. They have said that he will surrender his phone. He will surrender his internet access except for meetings with his attorneys. He will surrender his passport. They have said that his family members will surrender his passport. They have said that he will put up a $50 million bond that will be secured by his Florida residence, and that will be secured by the Florida residence of his mother. They have said that they will hire a private security company that will monitor him 24/7 at either his $48 million Miami, Florida home or at a suitable location in New York. So the attorneys are saying that Diddy is even willing to be held at a private residence outside of Florida in New York, where he's going to be tried. So they have offered many different things to the prosecution. They have offered this before the court and said, please release Diddy. He needs to be able to adequately prepare for his trial. But the judge has said no. And federal judge Subramanian, just last week on Wednesday, he's the third judge to deny Diddy's attorney's request for pretrial release. And they said no. No, he said, that the prosecution has provided me enough evidence that to show me that I believe that Diddy would be a safety risk to the community. The government has showed the court proof of violence, proof of alleged violence. For example, footage of Diddy allegedly abusing his former girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, back in 2016. The judge has said, I have seen enough proofs that the government, not the state, the federal government has met their burden to show me and demonstrate to me that Mr. Combs is a significant risk to the community if I were to release him. So the judge has denied pretrial release pending trial. So, I mean, unless a court grants Diddy pretrial release in between now and May, Diddy is going to be held in jail until May. And he's going to have to prepare for his trial for months from the Metropolitan Detention Center. And his attorneys are up in arms about this. They say he cannot adequately defend himself. He cannot adequately prepare a case. He is facing very serious federal criminal charges, and his attorneys are arguing you need to release him. And these are all the conditions that we can assure you. Diddy's attorneys are saying, we can assure you that he will not flee. We can assure you that he is not going to be a risk to the community. But the judge says, no, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it because I do not believe. The judge wrote, I have skepticism. I'm skeptical about whether Diddy will comply with these conditions or whether any private security company that he retains to surveil him 24/7, whether that company would comply with all these promises. And the judge says, no, there's enough. The government has shown me that there's enough of a risk that he will flee. There's enough of a risk that he'll be a significant danger to the community if I release him. And the judge is saying there is enough of a risk that he will obstruct justice and that he will tamper with evidence, that he will tamper with witnesses if I release him. And in fact, the prosecutor has already alleged that Diddy has been started to try this case in the public opinion and is already trying to influence the potential jury pool, because Diddy does have significant sway. He has significant influence. To statements that he makes he is beloved by many. Despite the severe accusations that he's being charged with, he has severe and significant public influence. So the prosecutor is worried and is arguing he's already trying to influence the potential jury pool. And again, Diddy's lawyers are saying, no, he has a First Amendment right to defend himself. His lawyers are saying he has a First Amendment right to defend himself. He is innocent until proven guilty. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you agree with Diddy's lawyers, or do you agree with the federal prosecutor? The federal prosecutor on one hand is saying he's trying to influence the jury pool. Diddy's attorneys are saying, no, he has a right to speak out publicly and defend himself. So what do you guys think? Let me know. And if you're getting value from the stream, I ask that you subscribe and also hit the like button because it helps grow our new channel. We will be reporting live on the Diddy legal drama every day, lives. We will also be reporting the Vanderpump Rules legal drama, which I'm also going to be turning over to in 1 minute, talking about Tom Sandoval's newest statements and Lala Kent's trademark legal battle with Give Them Lala. She has just had a rule to show cause slammed on her by a judge in her California state, by a judge in her state court action for trademark infringement. I'm sorry, federal action for trademark infringement. She has said that Give Them Lala brand has been infringed upon. Her trademark has been infringed upon, and her right of publicity has been infringed upon by Cosmesi LLC, which is a New Jersey company. So I'm going to be giving you those legal updates in 1 minute. But let's finish this off with this article about Diddy, as reported by USA Today. In a previous filing, Combs' lawyers said that they were unaware of use of contact me ASAP.com by an inmate, quote, was unauthorized by the Bureau of Prisons as it is widely used in the prisons, end quote. So, okay, so they did name the service Contact Me ASAP. That's actually kind of a cute name. ContactMeASAP.com. Diddy's lawyers are alleging that they did not know that this was a prohibited service to be used by inmates because they're saying that prisoners use this service all the time. So why can't Diddy, I guess? So let's move on now. We're going to move on to our next story. which is Vanderpump Rules star Tom Sandoval. He has just issued a statement that he believes that reality TV stars such as his Vanderpump Rules cast and himself should be paid in the same way that unionized actors such as Brad Pitt are paid. And this statement has gotten a lot of media coverage. It's been, in my opinion, it's been blown a little bit out of proportion because the headlines are reporting that Tom Sandoval said that he feels he should be paid the same amount as Brad Pitt. That's not exactly what he said. What he said was that he feels that his Vanderpump Rules cast and he should band together and they should, in a way, unionize, just like actors have unionized under the Screen Actors Guild. He feels that reality TV stars and his cast should unite and they should demand residual payments. Now, residual payments are payments that actors, directors, and other creatives that are involved in the movie making and TV industry receive when the original work is reused after the initial release. So, for example, when someone films a movie, but then that movie is later released on DVD, the actors will receive what's called residual payments, and so will the directors and the other creatives that worked on that original work, right? And then if a movie or a television show is then sold or the rights are released to a streaming service, right? Like Netflix or Hulu or Fubo, whatever. Then the actors and the creatives and the directors also receive residual payments on things like that. So what Tom Sandoval is saying is that he says, well, he is believed to make about $700,000 per series of Vanderpump Rules, but he doesn't get residuals. So Vanderpump Rules is also available on certain streaming services. I believe it's available, for example, on Hulu, right? So Tom Sandoval is saying, well, we don't get any type of residual payments when Bravo TV plays reruns of our Vanderpump Rules episodes. We don't get residual payments when everyone's streaming Vanderpump Rules off of Hulu. So what Tom Sandoval actually said is that he believes that reality TV stars such as himself and these Vanderpump Rules cast should come together, unionize in a sense, and that they should be paid residual payments when the Vanderpump Rules series is reused and replayed, whether it be on the streaming service, whether it be Bravo replaying it. He wants them to get residual payments because residual payments are a significant amount of money. And that helps actors get by in between jobs. They can live off of their residuals depending on how much the residuals are. So, I mean, listen, it's a fair ask. It's a fair statement because reality TV stars do make their networks a lot of money. Imagine how much money Bravo TV and the network made off of Sandoval and after, the last 11 series of Vanderpump Rules. And as we know, Vanderpump Rules was just announced, I believe last week. It was just announced that the Bravo Network is going to do a complete overhaul, a reboot for season 12. They're going to have a whole new cast. All the OG cast, including Tom Sandoval, are no longer going to be part of the cast. Tom Schwartz, Tom Sandoval, Katie, Lala, Sheena, all of our originals that we've watched for 11 seasons, some of them for 11 seasons, such as Sheena, they're not going to be part of the series anymore. So Tom Sandoval may be staring down the barrel of really needing to figure out where his next paycheck is going to come from. So he's really speaking out heavily saying, I want these residual payments. Our cast, VPR, we should band together, stand together, and demand residual payments. Now, it's interesting because he does have a podcast. So Tom Sandoval and Tom Schwartz, they do technically have a podcast. I think it's called Everybody Hates Tom or something, or Everyone Loves Tom podcast. I've listened to a few episodes, but it's spotty, friends. Like, in terms of, it's not consistent. So they were doing it consistently every week for a while, but then they kind of dropped off. I think Tom was touring with his band. Tom Sandoval had other things, I guess, that were going on. So I stopped listening to Tom Sandoval's podcast because I just couldn't rely on it to be released every week. And that's something that I value in a podcast is content creation, is that you're going to be sticking with it. I know when you're going to drop your episodes. They didn't always drop the episodes on the same day every week. So it sounds like he might be trying to resuscitate that podcast. And that he may be trying to still do some more with it. But honestly, and I think he has this stint upcoming on the Traders. He's going to be on Traders. So he does have some one-off projects that it looks like he's going to be doing. But they're nothing compared to the $700,000 per series paycheck that he was receiving from Vanderpump Rules. So maybe this clamor, this recent outcry that Tom Sandoval is saying is outcrying for, it may be because he's really looking at, what are my prospects in the future for money? Where's my money going to come from? He had that whole controversy with Ariana Madix about their house and going back and forth about their over $2 million house and that fight. So he probably has a lot of legal expenses built up. He's been paying legal expenses also in the case brought by Rachel Leviss against he and Ariana. So Tom Sandoval has, I feel that his clamor for residual payments is driven by his deep concern for, where's my money going to come from? I'm going to be on Traders. I've got my podcast that I'm trying to make some good with, but where is his next paycheck going to come from? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. But really, the media has overblown his comment. The media has been kind of incorrectly reporting that Tom Sandoval said that he wants to be paid the same amount as Oscar winner Brad Pitt. That's not necessarily true. He didn't say anything about amounts, like I want to be paid X amount, the same as Brad Pitt. What he is saying is that he feels reality TV stars should be paid in the same way that unionized actors like Brad Pitt are paid. He's saying that we should get residual payments. He's saying that every time someone streams Vanderpump Rules off of Hulu, I should be paid. He's saying that when Bravo does reruns of Vanderpump Rules, I should be paid, because right now the Vanderpump Rules cast is not paid residuals when the initial episodes are reused in other forms. So, and listen, however you may or may not feel about Tom Sandoval, I feel that's a fair ask. In my opinion, I feel that's a fair ask for these reality TV stars to start getting some form of residual payments, because reality TV stars, some of them make more for their networks than some unionized actors do, right? So I want to also talk to you about who has the right to receive residual payments. Unionized actors, such as actors with the Screen Actors Guild, unionized directors, unionized creatives who are part of the TV and movie making industry. They have a unionized right. It's mandatory that they receive residual payments. And the amount of the payment, that can vary on different factors. It can vary based on the length of the work, and it can vary based on other factors as well, such as where the work is being seen. So that's this is something that Bethany Frankel, in her Reality Reckoning movement, residuals for reality TV star actors is something that Bethany Frankel has been advocating for quite some time. She has very publicly put it out there that Bethany Frankel feels that reality TV stars are not treated fairly, that they should be receiving more of the rights that the unionized actors receive, and that the reality TV stars, she feels, should come together and unionize and take what she feels is theirs, and demand these rights. So this is all really interesting stuff that I'm going to be following on this channel. Sped Up News, we're going to continue to follow the Vanderpump Rules legal battles. We are also going to be continuing to follow the Diddy Combs legal dramas. And we also are going to be reporting on Lala Kent's trademark suit. So Lala Kent has sued this company called Cosmesi LLC. It is a New Jersey cosmetics company, and she did contract with them in a joint venture. her company that's called Lala Kent Inc. did contract with Cosmezi LLC for a joint venture. They formed their own company as a joint venture company to hold that joint venture to produce. She licensed out her rights to, quote, give them Lala, which is her trademark, to Cosmezi LLC so that they could produce some products that she authorized in writing. And it was an express term under their operating agreement that Lala would have the right to expressly approve any products that Cosmezi LLC was going to be marketing and promoting under the Give Them Lala trademark. So Lala has filed this suit because she alleges that Cosmezi LLC has improperly and in violation of their agreement marketed a matte and moisture lip wand under the Give Them Lala trademark without her express consent. So Lala is saying, I terminated this joint venture with Cosmezi LLC. And Lala Kent is saying that Cosmezi nonetheless continued to use her trademark, Give Them Lala, to market and promote products that Cosmezi was issuing, such as the matte and moisture lip wand. So she has sued them. She has filed for infringement claims. She has says that they have violated her right of publicity. She says that she has assigned her right of publicity in her name, likeness, and image to her Lala Kent Inc. company, and that Cosmezi has violated her right to publicity by using her name, likeness, and image again without her express written consent. So these are serious allegations that Lala has made. Now, just recently, last week, the court that is overseeing Lala Kent's case against Cosmezi has slapped her with a rule to show cause. A rule to show cause is a legal order that is saying that the court is saying that Lala has failed to meet her deadline. She was required to meet a deadline. She missed it. And the court is saying, so now the burden is on Lala to provide evidence to the court and to demonstrate to the court why her case should not be dismissed. So Lala is in like kind of a serious procedural posture here because she now has to respond by December 11th, 2024 to show the court reason for why her case should not be dismissed. She has the burden now to show to the court why the court should not dismiss her case. So she has a December 11th deadline. The court is saying you missed your deadline. You missed your deadline in this trademark infringement case. So now you have the burden to show me why I shouldn't just toss this case out. So that was recently reported in the media as well. Lala Kent's trademark infringement case over the Give Them Lala mark. I also wanted to share with you, friends, that I am actually going to be reporting live on the Sean Diddy Combs live legal updates. As we know, Brianna Bongolan just slapped him with a $10 million civil suit. She's alleging that Diddy Combs dangled her over the side of the balcony, a 17th-story balcony that was Cassie Ventura's balcony back in 2016. Ms. Bongolan, who is a fashion designer in the industry, she's also alleging that Diddy threatened to kill her. She's alleging that she personally witnessed Diddy abusing his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, and she has slapped Diddy now with a $10 million lawsuit. She just filed that on or about November 29th last week. So we're going to be watching this case, and I'm going to be reporting it live. So subscribe to the channel if you want to get notified of my live updates about Diddy's civil suit. We just spent a large period on this live talking about Diddy's federal criminal trial, where he has just been denied bail by the 3rd federal district judge, Judge Subramanian, who has just denied him bail, despite Diddy's attorneys pleading with the court and the prosecutor saying, we're willing to put up a $50 million bail package with $50 million bond. Diddy's willing to surrender his passport. He's willing to surrender his phone. He's willing to surrender his internet. He's willing to be surveilled 24/7 by a private security company. The federal judge says, no, we do not believe that Diddy will we do not believe that Sean Combs will comply with the terms of his bail package. So we are not going to release him. And friends, I just want to let you know, we are a new channel here, Sped Up News. We have just launched within the last 2 days. Already we are at over 13,000 views. And friends, I ask that you subscribe to help us grow our channel. We are running a giveaway as well. The giveaway link is in the description box. If you go out to the giveaway, you can win an Amazon gift card. And this is a way to show support for our channel. We are celebrating our channel launch. We are celebrating the fact that within the first 48 hours, we have gotten over 13,000 views on our channel. So we want to celebrate by giving back to you, friends. So we ask that you subscribe to the channel. We ask that you enter our giveaway. There's a number of different things that you can do to enter chances to win the Amazon gift card. I am going to share my screen now and just show you the giveaway. Website. So we are actually celebrating the launch of our channel. If you go to this website, the link is in the description box. So click the link in the description box, go out to this website. You can go ahead and subscribe to our channel. You can go ahead and share a link to our giveaway. You can also go ahead and follow us on all of our social media. This is a way that you can support our channel. This is a way that we can celebrate with you the launch of our channel. We want to give back to our subscribers because we wouldn't be here without you guys. We wouldn't be here without you. So once again, this is Sped Up News. We're a new channel. We just launched. We've come to you every day so far with live news updates. We pride ourselves in going live every day and providing you the news in real time because that's what we value. We value getting our news in real time. So go ahead, click the subscribe button, hit the like button. I ask that you share the link to our channel. Go ahead and enter that giveaway for the Amazon gift card. Link is in the description box below. I am so happy to be with you all every day live, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be back live later on this evening. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, friends. Bye.